You're listening to the PlantX podcast, the digital face of the plant-based community. Join us as we explore the inner workings of all things plant-based, from the products and lifestyles to the people behind them. Each week, we'll be touching on what's new in the ever-expanding world of PlantX and chat with everyone from entrepreneurs and chefs to nutritionists and scientists. Whether you follow a strict plant-based diet or just want to learn more, you're invited. I welcome our host, the man who combined his love of e-commerce and the plant-based lifestyle to create PlantX, Sean Dollinger.
Welcome to our 26th Vodcast here at PlantX. And thanks again for taking your time out of your day on a Monday afternoon or wherever you might be in the world to join us to learn a little bit more about PlantX. And again, thank you so much for your support. We definitely wouldn't be where we are today without all of you. You know, even closing the Little West transaction today shows our team is dedicated. When we make an announcement, we follow through and get things closed. And last week you got to meet Cassandra. Once again, wonderful partner. You know, you see the quality of the people who've been joining our team and continue to grow our team out. And this is where I speak about how important it is, the team that we put together. So again, you know, thank you to the whole Little West family for joining us here at PlantX. And I know we're going to do some incredible things. And, you know, I've been mentioning over the last couple of weeks, we now have over 10,000 shareholders. Some companies go years with not even coming close to that. And the only way we've been able to get there is people like yourselves coming here, clicking the thumbs up to help share the word, subscribing, and referring the videos to your friends. And, you know, I love starting the PlantX podcast. And for people who don't know who I am, I'm the founder of PlantX, you know, and just a year ago, April 2020, when we started, we were pretty much at $0 in revenue. And tomorrow we're actually planning on coming out with our numbers before the bell. And I think all the shareholders and investors who believed in us and continue to believe in us will be extremely impressed on what we've been able to achieve in just one short year. And, you know, PlantX, we're basically your one-stop shop for everything plant-based. So if you're looking for groceries, meal delivery, plants for the home, because we believe plant-based living is more than just the food you put in. You know, it's about the way you live your life. It's about the quality of the surroundings, the way you act in the world, just everything goes into the whole PlantX lifestyle. And I'm just so proud of what our team has built up to this point. And then following today's Vodcast, and we've got Adam Kruger on today, who I've known pretty much for, you know, 25 years plus, you know, and he's lived the plant-based journey for 12 years. So I'm really excited for you to hear about that. And he does tons of our content creation. He is behind the whole Taste This series, which has been extremely well received. And he's just such an interesting person. So can't wait to have him on. But following today's Vodcast, back in the, I guess, summer or fall, I don't remember exactly when it was now, we did a whole thing about myself and how I've lived the plant-based journey and what I went through and what it stands for. So we're going to actually be doing a live broadcast after the show today. And, you know, please stick around to watch that. I think the team did an amazing job. Alex Hoffman, our CMO, helped put it all together. And I really think that it turned out great. And it allows me to really share why PlantX began and what it stands for. But on that note, Adam, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Sean. It's great to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great. And Adam, as I'm sure you know, we love to start the podcasts with how do you take your coffee?
Yes, the age-old question. Actually, for me, it's pretty simple. I drink my coffee straight up black, like nothing in it. But I'm a bit of a coffee snob and a purist, so I grind my own beans in the morning and then I do a pour over. That's just my way of doing it, and I love it. I love the taste of coffee. So
cool. That's awesome. Love coffee as well. And I still remember, I think our first time getting together after 25 years, that's exactly what we went and did. So that was pretty awesome. And, you know, thanks again for following the PlantX story. And then it's amazing how our paths cross. And then you end up on your way to Vancouver at the time that we're planning on all of this content creation, because I believe content is king. Back in 2018, a gentleman by the name of Phil, he runs this amazing marketing convention, and he invited me as a guest speaker back when I was with my other company. And there was a lady I met there who created something called Showpo, and it was Forbes 30 under 30. And when I looked at the website, even though it was female clothing, the content creation was exceptional. And I just knew that was the path that we needed to go forward with. And Alex obviously agreed with that whole vision when we started speaking about everything and what we put together. And then all of a sudden you write, and all of it's amazing how the world works. So maybe you could speak about, because even before you lived the plant-based journey, you obviously were in content and production and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, content is so important. I've been doing I've been in entertainment now for, good Lord, it's close to 24 years at this point. I started in live events. I've been doing those, well, till obviously we got shut down, but with everything going on in the world. But I started on camera work in about 2004, around that time. And, it's just been being someone who is fully plant-based, to be able to put my energy into something that is part of my lifestyle on top of everything that I'm, good at, like to merge those two is just, it's a dream.
And, I know you've been plant-based for 12 years. For myself, it's been a 10-year journey, and I really speak about it. And that was one of the reasons why I love PlantX so much, is we're so accepting to everybody coming in. And obviously everybody has their own journey when they're going plant-based. What was it like for you? Was it one day you woke up and then all of a sudden you were plant-based, or was it a journey?
Like a lot of stories that start with "I met a girl," it's kind of the way it went for me. Sort of. I mean, so I started off for a while, up until I went actually fully plant-based. I had been thinking about what I was putting in my body, and I've always been an animal lover, and I always just kind of had this weird vibe about, just eating stuff that was, once running around a field somewhere. And that kind of really, it struck me as just odd, but I didn't know what to do or how to, not do that without disappearing. Because from my perspective, how I was raised, it's, well, you got to eat meat with every meal and so on and so forth. And I didn't know any better. And then I met my now wife, and she was like, "No, I've been vegetarian my whole life." I'm like, "What does that mean? Do you eat fish? Do you like what?" No, nothing with a face, nothing with a mother. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you eat?" And she's like, "All of this." And I go, "Oh, wow." And so I literally just in that moment, I went in that direction. And it stems from yoga, actually, which is the principle of non-harming. And then I later discovered the actual health benefits of it. And it's just, I haven't looked back since. It's just been amazing.
Awesome story. And I find everybody has kind of a journey when they start the whole plant-based living. And obviously you shared yours with us. So thanks for that. And when we started speaking, there was so much more than just content creation and going into that. And we shared this idea with you about why not bringing and capture people on camera, trying plant-based products, whether they're vegan or not vegan. And then, them sharing live with us what was taking place. So maybe you want to speak to our shareholders and investors a little bit about Taste This.
Oh yeah, Taste This. Hands down, by the way, one of my favorite projects I've ever worked on, period. Like, just end of sentence right there. The whole concept behind the show, from everything that we discussed, was essentially this. I mean, how many times have you gone to a restaurant and you've never been to that restaurant before, and the waiter comes to take your order, and you're like, "Well, what's good? What should I have?" And so they'll say, "Well, oh, this is amazing and that's great," and you're like, "Oh, cool, all right, yeah, let me go with that," and you go with the waiter's recommendation. Or if it's a friend that takes you to that place, you do the same sort of thing. Well, with Taste This, look, PlantX, as everyone knows, it's an e-commerce site, right? It's the one-stop shop for all things plant-based. And when you're browsing the site, there's over 10,000 products on there that you can look at and go, "Oh, I wonder what that looks like. It could be good, but I don't know." And so you go to the review and you go to read the review, and you don't necessarily know. Well, with Taste This, we have 3 different brands of the same product that are being tasted by 3 separate taste testers, whether they're plant-based or not, and they're sitting there giving you their legitimate opinion on what it tastes like and what it could go with, and how it could be used in different ways. And so from my perspective, at least, you're looking at this and going, oh wow, oh my god, I'm gonna order all 3 of these now, because I know that, you know, this one pairs well with cereal, you know, oat milk wise, or whatever it is. It gives you a really full idea of what you can use these products for. And I think that, coupled with, you know, our recipe videos, it's like a 1-2 punch, where people can be like, oh my god, I can use that, and I can use that in that recipe, and I can get it right here on this. Oh my god, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So it's like this all-encompassing way to kind of help inform people, which, you know, with PlantX, the whole idea is to educate people, as you said. So I just feel like it's a huge way to educate people while also keeping them entertained. I think that's, you know, amazing.
Yeah, you've hit it bang on with the whole education front, and things like Taste This and all the different aspects to the website. It's all about that, even the recipes we post, and then having one-click checkout eventually for people to be able to just go through that whole process instead of trying to make their lives hard and try to upsell people. At the end of the day, even in our grocery stores, we're going to have a whole section where, like, I'm sure you get this all the time, where people are like, oh, plant-based eating is just pasta and bread. And, you know, you living a plant-based lifestyle for 12 years, and even a few meals that you and I've had a chance to go explore in Vancouver, they're mind-blowing. I just love seeing people's reaction when they try plant-based food with me. Have you experienced the same thing?
Oh my goodness, yes, of course. I mean, I've both myself and my son, he's 9, he chose to go completely vegan at the age of, I think, 4 or 5 years old. He was just like, I'm done. I don't want to have any dairy, nothing. I'm vegan. And I'm like, wow, that's an amazing kid. You know, but we've actually helped people go plant-based themselves, where they're like, well, I don't understand. What do you eat? And I'm like, well, all this stuff, you know, check out this blog, check out that sort of thing. And you know, I've had people come to me afterwards and be like, you know, I'm having an issue. And I'm like, well, are you eating just pasta and bread? Is that what you're doing? Like, are you just doing like the carbs, like straight up? Because there's a world of food out there that you don't even know about. And then as soon as they start to implement all those different things, they're like, oh my God, it's so much better now. And the fact of the matter is that there's so many options out there, and it's only growing. I mean, when I started in 2009, even it was still pretty awesome. Like, there was still a lot of options then, but now it's so easy to do it now, where you don't even miss any of the other stuff. There's literally a plant-based version of every single thing that is not plant-based, and in my opinion, they taste even better. So yeah, and I've seen so many people who we've taken to restaurants, and they're just like, this is amazing. I would have never known that this was plant-based if you didn't tell me.
Yeah, 100% agree. And when I was on one of the episodes, I think it was the cheese one, it was unbelievable tasting it and seeing that you can't even tell the difference anymore. Have some wine and some plant-based cheese. There's no way somebody blindfolded would be able to taste the difference. And Adam, as you know, on this show, the whole idea is for our viewers, our shareholders, our customers to be able to ask questions. That's why we do it live. Otherwise, we would simply pre-record, and a lot of work goes into this. We're going to every platform, kind of like the way PlantX is at the end of the day, where we want to give people a variety. We don't want to just put oat milk, or just one Oatly and not minor figures. We want to give people choice, and that's why we go ahead and broadcast to all the platforms. So 2 people have been extremely active over the last few weeks. We have Eutherex, I believe that's how you pronounce it, as well as Alex, who constantly join and ask questions. And we just want to say thank you very much to them. And we thought it'd be fun, because the oat milk episode was actually the most viewed one. We'd like to go ahead and send the 3 different types that we had on the show to those individuals and get their feedback as well. It'd be great to see. But even if they don't have time to give us the feedback, I know they'll enjoy it, because they're all phenomenal products. So, and again, to the viewers, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And at the end of the day, you guys are shareholders, investors, customers, and why not, get us out there in front of everyone and show Google how we should be seen as the leader in the plant-based space. So Adam, we have this whole journey on constantly creating more content, yourself Christian, who joined the team a few months back, who I think has done an incredible job on the YouTube channel. When I look at it, I'm so proud of it. Like sometimes I just browse and hit and watch, whether it's Sarah's videos, Julia's videos, Kelly's doing a great job. And then you're working with them behind the scenes. And we're about to do the medical advisory rollout. And through this year, we're going to be bringing even more people on. And maybe you could speak about how it is to juggle all of this, because when you started, it was just to like write a couple things, and then it's kind of transpired into this amazingness.
Yeah, it's it has it's grown quite a bit, and it's been an amazing journey, to be honest. I think everyone's heard the term, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right? And so if you're passionate about something, it doesn't really feel like work. And that's kind of what plant-based is to me. And so, when I look at PlantX, and when I first, stumbled across the company after reconnecting with you, from years of not, seeing each other, and I saw the company, I was just like, wow, this is amazing, because it was so many different things from the same genre in one place. Plants, you've got groceries, you've got meal delivery, you've got education, all of it kind of rolled into one beautiful ball. And so as we're bringing in more content, it's honestly, it doesn't feel like juggling, because I feel like we have like one cohesive message that we're attacking from several different fronts, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you've done a tremendous job bringing it all together. The team constantly tells me how much they enjoy working with you. Even Kelly's videos, right? They've gone pretty much viral, some of them, from before when she just started, just a few views. And even when I was with her last Friday at the Locavore, her sharing how great of an experience it is. We thank you obviously for the countless hours you put in, and you're one of the team members. Well, pretty much all the team members always jump in around the clock. But you as well, whether it's a press release coming out and, it's 11:30 p.m. somehow, some way you get on and help out everyone. So, thanks for that. And while you've lived a plant-based journey, and I know you have your own podcast and all these things, you've probably come across so many different vegan companies. And I know you said that PlantX is interesting because it's an all-encompassing platform, but what truly drew you to PlantX? And then we'll jump into some questions after that.
Well, I mean, for a start, it was actually you. I mean, when I see an old friend who I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm just like, wow, I got to be really like brutally honest right here, right now. I hadn't seen you since, we were kids, really. And I stumbled across your picture, and I was like, wow, man, he looks great. Like what are you up to? And I'm like, I can't believe we haven't crossed paths in so long. And so I went to your profile, and all of a sudden I saw founder of PlantX, and see that you're on this like plant-based journey, and I'm like, duh, it makes sense. Obviously he's gonna look great, he's been plant-based. And so it was, what drew me to the company was you. But then when I started to actually look at everything, I was just like, wow, this is something that is gonna go somewhere. And I just remember my original thought was, I've got to have you on my podcast. I want to like push this out there to as many people as possible. Like, we have to spread the word about this, because to me, when I look at the world and I look at sustainability and I look at the future, I mean, we're both dads, we have kids. I want them to grow up in a world where they can still enjoy the outdoors, and they can still breathe clean air, and factory farming and all that, just animal agriculture in general is not sustainable, and plant-based living is. And that doesn't mean that everyone has to go vegan tomorrow. It means we have to drastically reduce what we're doing to the planet to make things better. And when I looked at what PlantX was doing and what it was all about, and actually, to be real candid, watching the Vodcast and going, wow, this is a guy who's getting on there every week explaining to the people who are investing in this company what they're doing. That's not something that I really saw before. Like, people do press releases, they do all that, fun stuff, but to have you come on and dedicate, that full hour or half hour, whatever it is, every week to come on and be like, look, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, these are the steps we've taken. I just thought that was amazing. And then coupled that with everything that we have to offer at PlantX on the site, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me.
I love hearing partners or, people who come and join us and all of that, what really drew them to the company. So thank you for sharing that. And I think it's important that our shareholders and investors hear that. And from, you sharing that, it was very heartfelt. So thanks for the kind words and believing and trusting. Thank you. And, before we get into some of these questions that I could answer, I think you're actually better at answering. So I'll combine two here. What's a great alternative for smoked salmon? And what's a good plant-based jello? I like those two things. That's good.
Those are good questions. So I don't know if Good Catch has a smoked salmon, but there is a company in the States, and the name is completely eluding me at the moment. Excuse me. But they do an actual smoked salmon that is, it's not made from fish, but I've seen it, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the brand right now. So forgive me, I don't have it at this moment, but there actually is one out there, and it looks like real salmon. It looks like salmon, like on a slab or whatever, and you can vegan Zeester. That's it. Yes. And yeah, so Vegan Zeester is the company that does this vegan salmon, right? And you can literally make sushi out of it. You can do all that fun stuff. But I've actually done a thing where if you can skin your Roma tomatoes, and there's a recipe where you can actually soak it in specific ingredients, and you can actually make what is it, like tuna sushi, like sashimi with tomato, because it has the same consistency if you take off the skin, so just the flesh of the tomato, which, who knew, right? But it's delicious. You can wrap your own sushi, which I do all the time. It's so good. And then the other question was, so there was this
Jello. Everybody loves Jello.
Yeah, well, you know what? There are actual vegan Jellos that we've had, because I have a child, and he wants Jello. And again, that's another one that I'm losing the brand, because I remember going to Whole Foods and looking for a plant-based Jello, and they do exist. You can actually make your own with agar, which is it's like a gelatinous like kind of powder, and then you can put your own kind of seasonings in there and then cook it up and then let it solidify in the fridge for a couple hours. So you can actually, there are recipes for homemade plant-based Jello. You don't have to use gelatin, which, by the way, back before I was plant-based, when I found out what gelatin was made out of, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Like, if you know what actual gelatin is, like, even as a carnivore, I don't care if you eat steak every day of the week, you do not want to eat gelatin. It's absolutely revolting. So just to kind of go to that plant-based Jello side is probably a good move.
Yeah, no, that's thanks for sharing that. And for people who do live here in Vancouver, Mira does an amazing sushi that tastes exactly like smoked salmon. I think they do a tremendous job. And we don't normally call out restaurants that do a great job, but I think I'm going to incorporate that a lot more on the show, especially these restaurants that are going above and beyond and introducing like plant-based meals to their menu and all of that. I think it's great to share. And today's Vodcast, Adam, by the way, it's amazing all the feedback we're getting, and it makes it a lot of fun, even for viewers watching, to see the screen kind of light up during the whole Vodcast. It becomes more interactive. My last podcast got extremely busy, where we'd sometimes have 1,000 people on live, and I think we're going to get there by the end of this year, but it's a great start. Some of ththese questions I could take. We had Victoria write in. Well, she's the one who asked about the Jello. And then will PlantX consider what the legendary Dr. Michael Kruger, so everything's obviously an opportunity out there for PlantX. And that's the beauty about our whole platform. We're always looking for whoever wants to share, whoever wants to improve people's lives out there. And when will the stores open? So we got word it's looking really good for Squamish to be opening this Wednesday. Adam and I will be down there on Friday. And even though we got to be very sensitive to the restrictions around COVID, since it's such a great outdoor space, I encourage any investors or shareholders to go by there. It's so beautiful and welcoming, and if Friday's a nice day, it's such a great day out there. So that's planned to that. Hillcrest, San Diego, we're looking at about 3 more weeks. That was word that I got today. We're hoping by the middle of June, everything will be stocked. Tel Aviv, looking amazing as well. So just everything's moving in the right direction. And then somebody's asking about share price. Obviously, we can't speak about share price. All we're trying to do is work as hard as we can, which again, tomorrow's press release, I think everybody will be extremely proud to be a investor and shareholder in this company. So on that note, Adam, thanks again for taking time out of your day. It's a beautiful day here in Vancouver. I'm sure you're going to make the most of the rest of your day, and just love what we're working on. And again, thank you so much for being part of this amazing team.
Oh, thanks for having me, Sean. It's my pleasure, really.
Thanks. So there you have it. That was Adam Kruger. Basically, all the content, working with Andrea on the IR, PR side of things, to just working with the team overall. And that's just the way the PlantX team is. Everybody's willing to help one another out, and that's really what we're trying to build all around the world. It's to have places that people could go, feel welcomed. That's what's so amazing about Starbucks. And I still remember, when Starbucks first opened up in the Bahamas even, and you go walk into a Starbucks and it feels like right away it's something you're used to. And that's really what we're starting to see with the different PlantX locations, the cafes, and so much more that's about to come. And when you start reading over the next few weeks all the news that we have coming out, I think you'll be blown away, because even myself sitting here, I just sometimes go to our investor section and start reading every single press release. And the team, Jacqueline puts together this newsletter on the marketing side of things every month that recaps what we've done in a month. And it's truly mind-blowing what the whole PlantX team does. I could only come up with ideas. Julia, as CEO, executes, shares the story on the IR side. But honestly, it takes a team to achieve anything close to what we've been able to achieve up to this point, and we are just getting started. And again, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for you guys. So again, stick around at 8:30. So in a few minutes from now, we're going to go live on something that we put together last year that the team really wanted to perfect to share with you. Until next time, stay curious, stay planted, stay healthy. Cheers.